Oh shit! I was not expecting that.
Oh. No.
Oh my god! Oh, look, she's walking around with that head.
What the? Oh no!
Oh my god! That body doesn't even look hers.
I know.
Oh. Ooh, okay, you can see it from the robot point of view. All pixelated.
Awesome.
Oh my god. Oh, I wish you could just keep rewinding that.
That
That's the
was
best
too
part.
good.
Oh my God. Welcome to another episode of Another Bee Movie with Keri and...
Yvette. Ooh, so happy.
So guess what we watched? Deadly Friend from 1986.
Wes Craven classic. Possibly the most Bee of any of his movies.
Yes.
So good.
Wes Craven, oh my god. Yeah, directed by Wes Craven.
Super good.
This movie is so freaking good that it earned 13% on the tomato meter.
With Matthew Labyorteaux.
He was excellent.
He was good.
Excellent.
Little House on the Prairie friend.
Yes. So the star, Matthew
Labyorteaux.
was Albert on Little House on the Prairie. I think I watched all of them, all the Little House on the Prairie episodes.
One of my favorite shows.
Mhm. It's interesting because poor Albert, he went through the ringer, huh?
And on Little House or in this
Yeah.
movie?
No, on Little House.
On
Oh
both.
my God.
Poor Albert. Of course, he is a young man in this one.
Right.
This is years later,
Yeah.
1986.
This was after Albert suffered the morphine addiction on Little House. Remember that
Oh my
episode?
I would
God.
never ever take illegal drugs.
Those are
He
so
looked-
good.
He kind of looked the same when he was all sweaty in this movie. I'm like, oh, it's the morphine addiction.
What's happening? Oh God, I'm gonna die. You're gonna live. I'm gonna die. You're gonna live. You're dying. No! Let it out. Let it out. I think if there was morphine here and I was alone, I'd take it.
Get off the drugs, Albert.
Nobody realized how gritty that show was. That's pretty
I know,
gritty.
right?
There was
I
some
know.
deep stuff that happened on Little House.
Yeah, because I was looking back. I remember like thinking, oh, right, Albert, didn't he go through so many traumas? He was the abandoned little boy,
Mhm.
and then they adopted him.
He had struggles. He was a troubled boy.
Yeah, he was smoking a pipe with his friend, and he dropped it because he was coughing, and it started a fire, and it burned down School for the Blind.
Yeah. And his poor sister.
And yeah, and Mary, her baby, died in the fire.
That show was deep.
Yeah, and then remember they thought that he had raped this girl who was his girlfriend,
If you haven't watched Little House, it's pretty dark.
and then his morphine addiction later on when he was studying to be a doctor, and then he got leukemia and died.
Ay, ay, ay.
Shall we bow our heads?
Little soap opera on the prairie.
The girls, I don't remember the girls that were going through that, but Albert, man, they
Oh
put him
gosh,
through the
Mary went
frickin'
through a
ringer.
lot too.
Oh, right, because she went blind.
I can't see. I can't see.
Yeah, Mary didn't have it easy.
Lost the baby because Albert burned everything down because he wanted to smoke a pipe.
Oh my God, the baby!
I think Laura Ingalls is the only one that kind of had it okay.
Yeah, not too bad. She had a few things happen, but not even close to Albert. Okay, so it stars Matthew Labyorteaux, Christy Swanson,
Her portrayal of Beee Beeee is
of
brilliant.
BB/Sam Samantha.
What a brilliant performance.
Yes, she can definitely do the robot.
There's no way to describe.
Yeah, and she was the original Buffy in the Buffy movie.
She does some of her Buffy stunts.
And Anne Ramsey.
Hey, shit!
And I think we all know her from Goonies as Mama Fratelli.
Yes. And throw Mama from the train. She's just good in everything.
Yeah, she's perfect.
Yeah, everybody must watch this movie. It's so good.
If you haven't seen it yet, you have to see it.
It occupies that period of time of Wes Craven. So as he was transitioning from the first Nightmare on Elm Street, before he starts like really delving into all the nightmares as the nightmares go, but you could see a lot of the same themes kind of pop up in this.
Matthew Labyorteaux plays Paul.
He's like a boy genius with tech and neurology somehow and science. And he's created Beee Beeee, this robot. We first are introduced to him when we see a guy try to break into Paul's Vanagon. Tries to break into his Vanagon. And then all you hear is,
Beep, beep, beep.
yeah, and you think it's like a kitty.
It sounded like a cat. Because it was like,
Meow, meow. Total jump scare, totally unsuspected. A big robot claw comes out and strangles this guy who's trying to break in the car.
Hey, you're kind of cute.
And we just think it's a kitty, like some kind of kitty or
Like,
some
what the
kind of
hell?
monster. We don't know what it is. And all of a sudden you hear this like beep, 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 beep. And they've created this autonomous robot with artificial intelligence, a big red pumpkin head, and a little square base. It kind of looked like the robot from the Jetsons.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it did.
It looked like it was designed exactly like the robot from the Jetsons with some
Yeah.
splashes of color.
Beep,
It was a fashionable robot.
Yeah. And the robot, he created it so that it's sort of spontaneous. You don't know what the robot will do.
I will destroy humans.
Because that's just more fun.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's, it's artificial
You
intelligence.
never know what he's going to do. You don't know if he's going
No.
to kill somebody. You don't know if he's going to claw you, grab your cojones and pop them. You don't know what he's going to do.
Right. So, Paul's really proud of the fact that he's created this robot.
It's programmed, obviously. You program it in the beginning, but now it's able to make its own autonomous decisions without input. And so he doesn't know what it's going to do.
He's always learning. He's full of surprises. I'm constantly upgrading him, so you can never know what he's gonna do.
But that's what makes it so cool. And that's why, this kid's a boy genius to be able to create this thing back in the 80s.
I know. When they had those box TVs with no remote controls
Right.
and 13 channels.
Mm-hmm.
No, they had cable before then. Nobody had it, but they had invented it. We didn't have it.
Cable TV.
All across the country, in large cities as well as in small, people are tuning in and turning on to cable television.
Right. So we find out the robot's name is Beee Beeee. We don't know what that
Beep, beep,
stands
beep,
for, do
beep,
we?
beep. I don't think we ever find out what it stands for. It just that's all the robot knows how to say.
Beee
He didn't. He's a boy genius, but he didn't teach him how to talk.
No.
Beep, 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 beep. You could kind of tell what it's saying sometimes, like bitches, beep, 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 beep. Because it's got anger issues.
It does. And the cool thing too, when you're looking through Bee Bee's point of view, everything is pixelated. So okay, that's Bee Bee. That's Bee Bee's point of view. And sometimes it goes red.
Yeah, if it goes bright pixelated red, you can tell he's infuriated.
So we're introduced to Bee Bee as his creation, and they moved into a new house, right? The family.
They had just moved into a new neighborhood.
Paul, his mom, and Bee Bee. And we are introduced to this lovely paper boy riding his bicycle.
Very pretty paper boy.
Very pretty. And I think there's some sparks flying between Paul and the paper boy.
Definitely. The paper boy rides by, and of course, he never sees a robot before.
Right.
So he sees this robot come out of the car, and then he just does a total slapstick. Whoa, whoa,
Whoa!
and then falls off his bike.
James, are you all right? What the hell is that? His name's Bee Bee. Are you all right? Yeah, sure. What's your name? Tom. Bee Bee? This is Tom.
But then he's on his back, and the scientist boy doesn't give him a hand up. He just stares at him with googly eyes. Pretty googly eyes.
eyes, googly eyes. Yes, looking into each other's eyes. Ooh, I've never met you. Who are you, Paperboy?
I don't think Beee Beeee really liked it because I think Beee Beeee was interested in the paperboy.
I think he was too.
And Beee Beeee helped the paperboy up with his claw hand.
With his claw, his metal claw hand.
I thought for sure he was going to cut off his fingers.
Because
Because again, you don't know what Beee Bee's going to do.
no, because you're not sure if this is a horror film or what at the beginning.
But Beee Beeee left his hand intact
Yes,
and helped him
did.
up off the
and
floor
gently helped him off the ground.
and kind of made some
Ooh,
beep,
beep,
beep.
Mm. Cute, cute.
Beee Beeee. He liked the paperboy.
And then, who are we introduced to? The neighbor girl,
Oh, Samantha.
Samantha.
She's got this bruise on their arm. They automatically just already think something suspicious is happening next door.
What's your name?
Bee Bee, Aperture.
Anybody there? My name's Sam. Samantha, what's yours?
Paul.
It's nice to meet you.
Because you can hear the father yelling.
You're gonna tell he's an old mean drunk. Get in here right now.
It's horrible.
So they could
Yeah.
tell something's up, and they're very concerned.
Yeah, the
The
girl's
neighbor's
anxious. She has a bruise.
But she's super, super, super sweet.
Super sweet. Really interested in BB and interested in Paul.
And she just thinks
too.
it's awesome.
Coolest thing ever. So now we know the neighborhood. Then he goes to school. I think it's a college, right?
I mean, I don't know. He seems really young, but
Yeah.
he's doing brain operations on this cadaver with the professor. The professor's supposed to be teaching him, and yet the professor knows nothing. This professor's going to pop up a lot. Professor Pringles.
Well, I was calling him Professor Pringle, but I guess the neighbor's name is actually Pringle.
Maybe everyone is this
It could
related.
be Pringle. They could all be Pringles. They're all from the same can.
Professor Pringles. The professor is supposed to be teaching this boy what he's
Yeah.
doing, but the boy knows more than he does.
Right. Paul's like, look, watch this. And he picks at the brain of this cadaver.
An electrical pulse into the brain, and then the leg moves.
Look at this. What the hell? How did you do that?
And the professor is just shocked.
Oh, how did you do that? He looked scared.
Has he never done the frog experiment in high school? Please.
You've never heard of this before.
I really don't think he was a professor. I think he's an imposter.
Well, we see him so often.
He's everywhere. He's like a office manager of some kind. He's the neighbor teaching at the school. He's with the coroner. He's hanging out with the cop.
Yeah, later on we see him in the OR, in the operating room,
and he's
operating.
the surgeon.
Right. So,
He does it all.
Yeah,
He's everywhere. He's like the only
is.
actor they had.
I guess so.
You get to be the father, the doctor, the
Yeah.
officer. You get to the coroner. You get
It's
to
really
be
odd.
everything.
It's odd how he
He just pops up
everywhere.
everywhere.
But, we'll take it. Whatever.
Anytime anything happens, he's around.
Right. I'm glad he has the acting chops to do
Just
that.
makes me think that maybe this whole thing was a dream. It is Wes Craven.
It
None of this
was.
really ever happened.
Oh my God. We have to wake up now.
I know. Maybe we're dreaming.
All right. So we find out that Paul is a genius.
And he's been working on brains in 1980s tech AI.
You take this, the program on this tape cassette, you put it in the tape recorder. It feeds the information into the computer does what the program tells it and feeds it out on your television set.
That's what his robot's all about. And so that's what he's been working on.
So he shows everyone the little microchip that basically is the brain for BB. So you got the microchip, the electronics, and then you also have the actual physical as he's working on a cadaver brain.
Eventually, it all comes together.
Shut up!
It is the crossover. So then what happens?
He starts to get closer to the neighbor, Samantha.
And we see a little more into her life of what's really happening.
And this is where we have a total Wes Craven, Freddy's Nightmare experience. She's in her bed, and her sweaty, nasty father comes over to her and basically says, I can touch you whenever I want.
I'm your daddy. Sweaty daddy.
Ugh, gross.
I don't want you here. Don't touch me.
I'll touch you anytime
Ow.
you like, you little bitch. I'm your father. You do what I tell you.
God, stop it!
You can't hurt me, because Daddy don't want to be hurt.
She freaks out and grabs the vase that's right next to her on her bed nightstand.
And she breaks it, and then she just, a la Wes Craven, jams it into her father's chest.
Right? I love this part. And it's so cool because it's squirting out everywhere because it's a long tubular part of the vase.
Yeah.
A thin one. It's almost
and it's just squirting out like a
piping.
hose. Blood everywhere.
And the dad is still
Awesome.
talking and laughing.
And he gets up like, ha, 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 you can't get me, brah. And then blood is gushing everywhere. And then she's tossing and turning, trying to get away. And then you realize she was asleep.
Yes. She wakes up from the nightmare.
Very Freddy's nightmare.
So we know now that there's a lot of abuse happening at that house.
So this guy's a creep.
He's evil.
Her daddy is a total nasty alcoholic creep. He needs to go, go, go.
Get rid of his ass.
He needs to be taken care of.
Because hell is for children.
Let's talk to Beee Beeee about that, can we?
Beee Beeee.
So from there,
we see Paul lecturing the class on how he constructed Beee Beeee.
The professor is giving him time to actually tell the other kids in his class about his creation of Beee Beeee.
And of course, there's all these scientific equations all over the board, and they only show you that for a couple of seconds just to prove that he is, in fact, a boy genius.
Pretty close approaching the way a normal human brain works.
I will destroy humans.
And then back to the house where he has friendships. So I don't know why it says that he's lonely in the synopsis.
No, he's got a Beee Beeee, he's got his robot,
Yes.
he's got the girl next door, he's got a great mom.
Wonderful mom.
And he's got the pretty paper boy.
Paper boy that who knows what he's doing with the paper boy.
He's got the sexy paper boy.
But you know what? Whatever they have going, hey,
They're all having a good time.
They're all having a good time.
Him, Beee Beeee, and the paper boy.
Oh yeah, I love that scene where Beee Beeee plugs in.
When Beee Beeee first gets into the house, it's like looking everywhere for something. We're like, what the hell is he doing? He pushes a piano like clear across the room, practically breaks it.
Oh, he has strength. He pulls out this plug
and plugs in, and then he's like, beep, 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 beep.
And it's so weird because it's like, oh my God, what is this doing to him?
He's totally addicted.
High or something. He's just like,
I know.
Oh, baby. Oh. And I'm like, wait a minute.
He needed to go to his private room for that.
Baby, you don't do this in front of everyone, do you? He's thinking of the paper boy. Ooh, baby.
I told him to charge before we left.
Oh, so he's got friends.
Yeah,
and
Beebe
he
has
seems like has a
friends.
very happy life, and Beebe has friends.
And Beebee's very happy too.
He's very friendly with the paper boy.
Indeed. So, they're all having a good time together. They're all bonding, becoming such great friends and playing basketball in the yard. And, Beebe tries to play basketball and they're like, come on, Beebe, just try to make a basket. So Beebe's got the ball and he's ready to fling it. And he flings it backwards over his head the wrong way.
Not a good ball player.
He's not an athlete.
And the ball ends up going into the crusty old neighbor's yard, Elvira.
Yes, there's a neighbor who is known to be the mean, grumpy old lady across the way.
Get out of my yard!
What are you doing?
I got my shotgun.
Our beloved Anne Ramsey, who plays
Anne
Elvira.
Ramsey takes out her shotgun, scares the kids. It's my ball now.
Yeah.
Is that my puppy? It's my ball.
What the hell do you think you're doing? My property, my house, my ball.
What a witch! I know.
And you know, Beee Beeee was not happy about
that. She kind of talks like Beee Beeee. I mean, if you heard an argument between both of them together, I can imagine.
Bee Beeee, Bee Beeee, ball, Bee Beeee ball, Bee Beeee ball, mine ball, Bee Beeee ball.
Back and forth, those two. Bee Beeee was not happy. And Bee Beeee is like, hey, this is unfair. This is not right. Of course, he doesn't say that in our language, but we understand because we speak robot.
And this is the first time you see what it looks like when Bee Beeee is angry.
Ooh, Bee Beeee mad.
And from Bee Bee's point of view, we see that the screen looks all red and pixelated.
As she's looking at Elvira, the neighbor.
But Anne Ramsey is terrifying.
So the kids have to leave without the ball. So sad.
No more B-ball for them. Bee Beeee, Bee Beeee.
Bee Beeee, no, Bee Beeee, Bee Beeee.
So that Elvira, she's a real bitch, that one.
My ball.
Yeah, she's got like a fence all around her property, and it's got a lock on it, and she really doesn't want any visitors.
No.
She's lonely and has no friends.
I don't know. Her TV's her friend.
And now she has a basketball.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
As we delve further into the story,
we find out that poor little Sam, the neighbor girl, she walks into Paul's house and the mom sees her and she's got a bloody nose and she just tries to brush it off, but we all know what happened.
Right. And the mother too. She's like, I don't like this. I know what's happening. And she, I've been getting nosebleeds since I was a kid.
Oh my God. That's how long he's been beating her.
Right. So we know the father punched her.
He's been whacking her around for years.
Horrible. So, they're trying to take care of her and put ice on her nose. And the mom is really trying to take her under her wing, I think.
Oh, yeah. She's trying to make sure that she's safe and that if she needs anything, that she has an open door. And so she's practically becoming part of the family.
She is.
She's just there all the time. She has dinners with them, and the mom is kind of nurturing to her and trying to take care of her because it's obvious she does not have a mother of her own, and her father is a psycho.
Right. Exactly.
And of course, Paul is becoming more and more
moony-eyed.
Yeah.
Paul is falling for Sam.
And Bee Beeee does not like that.
Bee Beeee does not approve. Bee Beeee is jealous.
Bee Beeee likes the paper boy. And then it is
Happy Halloween. So it's Halloween in town.
Yes.
And all the kids go out. It's like Hell Night. So everybody's causing mischief and
having a great time.
Bee Beeee and the kids are all out together. And it's very much like E.T.
Right.
Bee Bee's dressed up with a bowler hat. It's like a Clockwork Orange.
It's like a Clockwork Orange. One of the droogs.
But they're all dressed up.
And they decide that they're going to break into Elvira's house again.
So it's the stupid paper boy is kind of goading Bee Beeee and Paul and everyone and saying, let's mess with that old lady. Let's prank her. It just goes sour really fast.
Why the hell isn't he responding? Get out of here! Get back!
That's stupid. They know she has a shotgun.
Right. Why would you mess with that? I wouldn't.
No, me either. I'm not going to mess with a crazy old lady with a shotgun.
Far away from that crap. Yeah, man.
They break in. So Sam's the bravest one. And Sam goes up the stairs to the front door. And then all hell breaks loose because Elvira has this entire alarm system where all these bells are going off and sirens.
And all the noise immobilized Sam. She can't move. She has a total freak out.
But the guy
she's like,
and then the boys grab her and pull her away.
Like,
so that
come on.
So she needs to hide because this woman's going to come out. Obviously, she's going to have a shotgun. She's going to kill one of us.
Right.
And so she does come out. You punks! Grab her shotgun.
So Bee Beeee just sees red again.
You can't hurt my kids. These are my friends.
In an act of protecting the kids, Bee Beeee doesn't understand.
You cannot go up against the shotgun, Bee Beeee. Ain't happening. Sorry. Even if you are made of metal.
So Beee Beeee gets shot to pieces. First his arm.
In the arm. In his little metallic arm. And he's looking at it like, oh, baby.
And then she shoots one more time and gets his big giant pumpkin head.
Yes.
And his pumpkin head is just obliterated.
Oh, I was so sad.
Oh my God. Paul is just devastated.
Devastated.
I don't know. It was so dramatic. It's like a scene from
Saving Private Ryan.
It really is. It's like Saving Private Ryan. He's just in tears, He's shaking and he's falling down on his knees and he's like, no, not my Beee Beeee. It would be like something happening to your baby. It's his Beee Beeee baby. Beee Beeee baby.
Yep.
And his poor Beee Beeee baby is dead.
And then she smirks and closes the door.
And she's so happy. She's so pleased with herself.
Asshole kids.
Soon after that,
everyone is sad and Paul is in grieving.
But he's still got his friends.
Right.
He's still got Sam. He's kind of in love with Sam. He gave her a kiss once and they're like, they're all smitten with each other now.
Yes.
And Sam goes home.
Oh, God, no.
To her alcoholic
Evil
father, who she thinks
father.
is sleeping. He usually gets drunk and falls asleep on the
Blacked out.
couch and blacks out.
But she doesn't see him on the couch where he usually is. She hears him scuffling upstairs, so she goes upstairs to investigate. And when she goes upstairs, her father is up there and just starts to berate her. Where have you been all night, you dirty whore?
Slaps her a couple of times around.
You slut whore!
And then he knocks her back and she falls down the stairs.
Oh,
and
my God.
her head
Awful.
bangs against the wall like a couple of times and on the stairs.
Oh, my God.
And she's just seizuring at that point. And you don't get up after
We're like,
that.
nope, she's gone. He killed her.
Where have you been?
I was studying, Daddy. I had homework.
You lying little bitch!
He calls the paramedics.
Right.
And they come pick her up, and Paul sees this, and they know. I mean, the mother and Paul know that he had to have done something.
That he did it as they're rolling her into the ambulance. But you can see she is alive, apparently.
She's still alive, but you could tell she's probably brain dead.
I mean, after that fall, my God.
And that's what they find out.
My God.
The guy who's the doctor, the professor, I don't know, all the other myriad of
All
things.
the
He's the
above.
neighbor. I think he
Right.
even pops out then and says, "Oh, I don't know what happened to her." I don't know, but he's like, I think he's standing there too.
He was trick-or-treating. He's at Thanksgiving dinner.
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere.
He just
He's
pops
the
in
surgeon.
everywhere. He's the surgeon.
She's in the operating room.
He's doing this intricate brain surgery on her, and she flatlines.
Right.
Of course, he doesn't know what he's doing, Mr. Pringles. Dr.
because-
Pringles doesn't. He's not really a doctor.
He doesn't know. I mean, right. Just like he
He's
had no
not really a
idea
doctor.
that if you stimulate a certain part of the brain, the foot will move.
The foot will move. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's basically he came out and he said, "I don't know what I'm doing."
He's like, I don't know.
I'm sorry, there was nothing we could do.
She's flatlining.
It's too
She's
late.
gone.
She
It's too
flatlined.
late. We can't do
I don't know.
anything.
I don't know. I don't know what to do.
You know.
And Paul's like, "You idiot! I know what to do. Why didn't you let me do the
Why
surgery?
didn't you tell me? We could have avoided everything else that comes after this.
I would have
If
done
you
the
would've-
surgery."
I could have done it. I could have saved her.
What do you mean there was nothing you could do? We have experimental things, a whole battery of things. You can't just let her die.
I'm not really a doctor. I'm an insurance salesman. Why
Oh
are
my
they letting you
God.
do the surgery?
Just get him out of there, for Christ's sakes.
I'm going to bring her back, and he runs out of the hospital. He has a plan now because he knows the doctor's an idiot. He turns into Dr. Frankenstein, little mini Dr.
Yes.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, a cute little Dr. Frankenstein. He's serious.
No, he's totally serious.
But you know, in the meantime, Sam's dad, what he's telling everyone is that she had a bunch of junk on the steps that he told her to pick up a long time ago, and she didn't, and that's how she fell. She tripped over that.
Isn't that ironic that the paper boy had a big giant poster of Pat Benatar in his room?
Oh, right.
Halos for children.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah,
And maybe he was trying to say that.
could be.
But yeah, he's completely lying. He's saying that she
Yeah.
accidentally fell down the stairs. He had nothing to do with it. He's guilty
Right.
as hell.
Of
And
course.
he deserves to pay.
He shall pay.
And Beee Beeee knows this.
We all know this. Evil dies tonight.
Evil dies tonight. Paul is on a mission to save her. He knows what he needs to do. And so he enlists the paper boy. This is where we see the Pat Benatar poster, because he casually somehow gets into the paper boy's house and wakes him up early in the morning while he was sleeping. It's like, okay, where are the parents?
He crawls into bed with him and puts his arm around him, gives him a little kiss, and wakes him up.
He's just a little sleeping beauty.
Yeah, but he walks into Paul's room
and wakes him up, and he tells him, you are my friend. If you were really my friend,
you will help me.
You're going to help me. You even admit that it's your fault that Beee Beeee got destroyed. So he pulls that one on him.
He does. The total guilt trip.
Pulls the guilt trip on him.
You killed my Beee Beeee. Now you're going to help me with Sam.
You're going to help me keep Sam alive.
What's this all about? We're going to save Sam.
What do you mean save Sam? She's dead.
No, she isn't. Not yet. We're going to go to the hospital. We're going to get her out before they pull the plug tonight at 10 o'clock.
No, we're not.
Hey, you owe me, Tom. No way. You owe me.
And so he believes that if he can get her before they pull the plug, because they are planning on pulling the plug that night at 10 o'clock.
Right.
If they can get the body before they pull the plug, he has devised a way
with his fancy 80s technology
to bring her back to life. And the paperboy wants none of it. The paperboy does not want to have anything to do with it.
No, he's like, that's crazy, man. I can't. No. It's going to be horrible. No, we can't
We're
do this.
going to end up in jail. If he drops the soap, poor baby. He's too pretty.
Cute.
He's too pretty for prison.
Fresh meat.
But he agrees, and they do it through all sorts of shenanigans and miscalculations.
Right.
But before they can get to the hospital and get Sam, they have to get past Paul's mother first. So they're having dinner. They're trying to get the mom out of the way.
Right. They know that she is going to be around them. There's no way they can get out of the house because she'll know. And they decide to drug her so that she sleeps and they can get out as she's sleeping.
Eternal sleep. They put so much of that powder. I don't know what powder. First, I thought it was just this thing of cocaine.
That'll keep her up.
It looked like 2 tablespoons of cocaine
Coca.
in coffee. She would have been awake for like a month. She would have cleaned the house. She would have probably broken in with them and helped steal her if she was on that much cocaine.
Exactly. It might have been helpful.
It was, I know, but give them all cocaine so they have the energy to break in and steal a body. It was sleeping powder.
Yes. It was special sleeping powder.
It was a lot of sleeping powder.
A lot.
And the mom doesn't notice. There's this big clump of white powder in her coffee.
Bubbling powder.
That looked like it had to be like 3 giant heaping tablespoons of sleeping powder. She doesn't notice that it's in her coffee, and she just drinks her coffee and gives them both a weird look.
Strangest look.
And then just says,
"Well, I make good coffee."
Right.
Oh my God. There's some good lines in this.
Yummy. Oh, sure. They're watching movies together, hoping she's going to fall asleep, and she doesn't fall asleep. So she's like a horse. They give her enough sleeping powder to knock out an elephant. Finally, she falls asleep.
But first, she says,
"It just feels so strange. 9 o'clock will come and
9? You mean 10?
no, 9. They changed it to 9. Something to do with the coroner."
An hour? What do you mean, Mom?
What?
They're pulling the plug at 10. Oh, I guess I didn't tell you, honey. No, they're going to pull the plug earlier. Something about the coroner wanted that.
Your professor, the coroner?
Your professor, our neighbor, and my boss at work.
I know. He just does not
The
have
surgeon.
time to wait that extra hour. He's
have
doing
time.
way too much.
They're going to pull the plug. So now, oh my God, now they have very little time to get there and perform this incredible surgical procedure. Luckily, the mom did finally pass out.
They have about 20 minutes to get to the hospital. So they rush to the hospital They break into the hospital, and Paul tells Paperboy,
turn off the electricity.
In 4 minutes.
Exactly 4 minutes.
They only have 5 minutes to get to the body before they pull the plug.
And the funny thing, because I was thinking, wait a minute, if they turn the power off, that's going to turn her machine off. But then he said that he brought Beebee's battery pack.
They look like little motorcycle batteries. He's going to sneak the batteries, and he's going to get jumper cables. He's going to zing her. Paperboy does turn off the lights. All you see is like commotion. And then Paul runs down, and he's got the body in this laundry basket.
But the dad decided he wanted them to unplug the daughter even earlier.
She was already unplugged. It was already too late.
Yeah. So whatever he was going to do, keeping her alive.
Yeah, he couldn't even do it.
He couldn't do that. So now plans have changed. Now they got to go to plan B.
Which is, there is no plan B. Yeah. Not really. He just steals the body.
Yeah, so they steal the body at this point.
And Paperboy's appalled. Paperboy nearly faints and gags.
He's gonna barf.
You didn't say anything about a dead body. We were supposed to save her life. We're gonna try. Try? Are you crazy or something? Are you crazy?
He just can't deal with the fact that there's a dead body in the car.
I didn't sign up for this shit.
I don't want to have anything to do with it. Mm-mm. Why did you take a dead body? What are you possibly gonna do? This is where everything goes crazy. So Paul has Beebee's old brain chip, and he performs this intricate surgery at his professor's lab at the school. Basically, he sticks a computer chip in her brain.
He tapes it to her brain.
He tapes a computer to her gray, spongy brain.
I know. When they opened up her head, oh my God, it looks like the meat was off. Oh, gray.
It looked like solidified
It was
gray
definitely
oatmeal.
Not brain matter that they were showing.
It wasn't
even close to looking like a brain.
It was spoiled by then.
We'll pretend that was a brain, but it was just some gray spongy. It was like, seriously, it did not look like a brain. It was just all dark and
it had gone off.
It had gone off a long time ago.
And so he sews her back up, puts the chip in.
Yeah, he puts Beebee's little tiny chip that's about the size of a quarter.
Beebee's little chip. He puts a couple of AA batteries in there, some tape, and sticks it all back together.
Stitch, she'll be fine. He's
gonna be okay.
No time, my friend. Yeah.
Nothing seems to be happening.
No, because you know what? He takes out the remote.
I know.
He gets his little remote.
A little car remote. So she could only really walk back and forth.
So he uses the little remote and he flips the switch and nothing happens. And his friend Paperboy is like, I told you, you're crazy. It didn't work. You're crazy. You can't do this.
When all of a sudden she finally does move.
Delayed reaction from the remote control.
You're kidding, right?
Paul takes her home. And puts her in the garage.
The garage.
In the garage.
And just stored her down there. Paperboy leaves. By then it's the next morning. And he breaks out the remote control again. And there's only about 4 buttons on this remote control. The on, off, and the sideways, and the forward and backwards.
Sideways, left, sideways, right.
Oh my God.
And she even a button for speak.
But there's no speak though, because she doesn't even speak. He presses the button to turn it on, and lo and behold, her eyes pop open. Ding! And then she does sit-ups. She does calisthenics.
It was so weird. I'm like, why is he teaching her to do sit-ups?
It just pops up, very mechanical.
I don't think I could do that.
I know. I don't have the stomach muscles for that.
I couldn't.
You have to be strong for that.
Oh man.
And then she becomes a Star Trek fan.
Right.
Her fingers are
perpetual. Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper claws.
Live long and prosper.
So she's Beebee. So she's got Beebee's chip.
Beebee's claws.
He keeps calling her Sam and saying, Sam, it's going to be okay. But he shouldn't have, because it's Beebee.
It's Beebee.
It's Beebee. And she doesn't know how to use her hands yet. And so it's constantly live long and prosper claw hands. Wherever she's walking in her hands, she's like constantly doing the robot.
Yeah, she's totally doing the robot the whole time, where she moves her head and her arms. I mean, it's almost like she practiced that dance for this part.
Oh.
It's exactly what she was doing.
It looks like she was dancing the robot. It's like Soul Train.
Yeah, totally. The whole time. It was awesome.
American Bandstand.
I love it. I love it.
And Bee Bee, so she pops up and she walks over to the window and she sees across the way her father, her
evil dad.
Well, her body's father. It's not Bee Bee. And you see it from her eyes, and you can tell it's Bee Bee because it's all pixelated and red.
And red. It's Bee Bee.
And they're transfixed on them, and Paul's very concerned at this and tries to pull Sam away from the window, but she's obsessed with the father. She looks like she has evil intent.
Yes.
She gets the squinty robot eyes.
Yeah.
And her claw hands are kind of going. Right. And you can tell she's thinking, Bee Bee kill.
Bee Bee says kill. Bee Bee says kill.
And so you don't know what she's going to do, but Paul needs to do his business. Paul needs to do his stuff. Like, it's not his business, but he needs to do his stuff for the day.
That's what he's trying to do.
He's trying to do his stuff for the day. And so he needs to leave her somewhere. So he leaves her in the basement. It's like, you stay. Now he's talking to her like a dog.
Stay.
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 Stay, Sam. She wouldn't listen to him.
So he pulls out the remote control and shuts her down.
Isn't that rude?
Typical.
So that he could go to school.
That's very
Stepford Wives.
It's like Stepford Wives.
I will destroy humans.
Turn her off.
I know. Turn her off.
You don't do as I say, off you go.
But little did he know that she no longer needs a remote.
Oh, artificial intelligence, bitch.
So when he gets back from class, he notices she's gone and he doesn't know where she is.
Where's Sam?
But we know where she is.
Mm-hmm.
She's saying hi to Papa again.
And she is. Give him a nice big hug.
Oh, Papa.
The Bee Bee hug.
She's giving you a Bee Bee crunch. And she goes and sees the dad. And she is infuriated because
basically her body contains two minds. She still has a little bit of Sam, even though she's Bee Bee. The Sam part of her, she knows that the father's evil, and the Bee Bee part of her just wants revenge.
Yeah, Bee Bee knew that the whole time. Bee Bee knows all, and Bee Bee does not like the dad. Bee Bee knows what happened.
Daddy no good.
Bee Bee's gonna get rid of that shit.
And so Bee Bee Sam goes over to the father's house, goes to the basement, and starts building a giant fire in the furnace.
Daddy goes down to the basement, and this big fire is roaring in the furnace, and then she pops out. Hey, Pops, crunch.
I got a present for you.
She grabs him with her claw hands, even though she's human now, and she if she learned, she'd be able to use her fingers normally.
Bee Bee's because it's Bee Bee.
And so Bee Bee only knows how to use claw hands.
Yes.
And Bee Bee grabs Daddy.
Yes. And thank God for Bee Bee.
And tears him apart.
Yeah.
And throws his head in the furnace.
Slams him into the furnace, and it was awesome.
He starts sizzling.
Sizzle,
sizzle, sizzle, pop. In the meantime, Paul is looking frantically for her.
He sees the smoke from the house. He's thinking,
and he sees what she's done. And instead of just burning the entire body, because only the head wasn't, it didn't make any sense.
The head was in the furnace,
all fried up.
He looked like Freddy.
It was definitely all a Freddy moment. Krueger.
It was a Freddy moment.
His head was all burnt up. And instead of just putting the rest of him in, which sounds gruesome and horrible, but
there was already smoke, and just put him in there. That makes sense.
I mean, if you're going that way, he's already half done anyway. Just finish it.
Finish it. Get the broil going. Get the broil going. It'll be done. But instead, he puts him behind the coal, which makes no sense because the guy's going to be stinky.
At least the other way it wouldn't smell.
Yeah, people are going to find out. It would just be, an accident.
I know. Well, now what are people going to think? He fell in the coal?
Right. I mean, they would think, well, he was such a drunk.
That he burned to death.
That he fell, hit his head, and burned up.
That makes sense.
It makes total sense.
But no one's ever accidentally buried themselves in coal.
For being a boy genius.
Kids.
He really wasn't thinking that through.
No, he wasn't.
And so now she's just on the rampage. Now she's finding her powers.
Beebe. Beebe
So
is mad.
Elvira is watching our favorite movie.
Yay, Elvira.
The Bad Seed.
I love it. I love it. She's watching The Bad Seed.
Harken back to The Bad Seed.
Oh my God, such a beautiful
So
film.
poor little Elvira Ramsey is watching The Bad Seed, just minding her own business.
Having a nice evening watching The Bad Seed.
Now Beebee's gone evil. Now Beebee's had a taste of revenge and she wants more.
Yes, Beebe.
And so she goes back to get her damn basketball.
Hell yeah. The basketball for sure. Beebe knows.
She remembers. I wanted that basketball.
My boy.
We could not play basketball anymore because of you.
Now she's got robot skills. She uses her robot claw hand to open this lock that's on the gate at Elvira's.
She just twists it real fast.
And she gets in and scares Elvira. And Elvira's like, "You punks, you dirty punks, what are you doing in my house?"
I'll get my shotgun.
And she does. She's like going to get her shotgun. And she's taken by surprise. You're supposed to be dead.
And Sam does not utter a word.
Sam's still not speaking.
Because Sam's Beebe.
And Beebe doesn't know how to speak. But Beebe does know how to play catch.
Hell yeah, Beebe knows. Beebe knows how to throw a ball.
So Beebe finds the basketball because they really want the basketball. And then all of a sudden you just see the basketball. Beebe doesn't know her own strength. So Beebe's playing catch with Elvira, and she throws the basketball. Catch it, bitch! And her head just shatters.
The ball just hits her right in the face, and her head just
crunch.
Birthday cake or something just splatter everywhere.
It's like a paper mache head.
A balloon filled with blood and gore.
And it just pops.
Pops everywhere. It's hilarious.
Just pops. It's
and then her body.
Awesome. I think she keeps running around like without a head.
Body keeps going without a head. There's no head.
I don't know what's in there, but it's just moving around without a head, and it's just running into the walls, bumping into furniture. And there's blood spurting out of the top of it, and then it just topples over.
And it took everything for me not to rewind it and watch it like 50 times because it is freaking awesome.
Hilarious.
That is so awesome.
It is so hilarious.
Oh my God, it's the best.
Then the paramedics come again,
right?
And they come to take the body out, and poop. There's the neighbor.
Yep,
there's neighbor, surgeon, accountant, professor,
coroner. He shows up.
He's just there. It's like, what's going on? And they're taking the body out. But I don't know. In the scene, the body looked like it still had a head, but that body did not have a head.
No, the head was just
It should not have had a head. And she is still on her reign of terror.
Oh, she is. She is.
And she just doing the robot with Paul. And Paul's trying to keep her in the attic now, trying to keep her safe because he knows that she's done bad things.
Yes, she's doing bad things.
And this is where there's a tender moment. When Bee Bee realizes she's no longer the robot she once was. She sees a picture of Sam, Bee Bee, and Paul together. And then she looks in the mirror. And then she realizes, to her horror, she is no longer a beautiful robot. She's a fembot.
Beebe is like, what happened to my beautiful metallic body, my orange?
Now I have these weird blue eyes.
And these boobs.
I know. How do you move with these things? And wait, I don't have claw hands.
What happened? What happened
to my beautiful claws?
Right. So it's this realization that, oh my gosh, I am not the robot. I am Sam. But I am a robot. But I am Sam. That must have been terrifying for Beee Beeee.
Oh, so she realizes that and it just drives her crazy.
Yeah, totally.
So Paperboy calls Paul. It's like, okay, what are you doing right now?
What are you wearing?
What are you wearing now? And Paperboy says, Paul, you gotta go to the police.
You gotta turn yourself in.
It's too much. She's killing people. It's not right. You need to do something or I'm gonna do something. And he's like, no.
Just come over. Let's talk.
Or I'll explain everything to you. You'll see. And so he brings him up to the attic to see what's become of poor Beee Beeee Sam. And he's just horrified. She looks terrible.
No way. Tom, please. No way. I'm calling the cops.
Her makeup was not good.
The makeup was
Her
horrible.
Makeup was off.
She has all this blue eyeshadow
all around her eyes, like a raccoon.
A glittery Uncle Fester raccoon. A glittery trash panda.
A glittery trash panda.
And Paperboy just loses it.
Freaks.
He runs out of the house. I'm telling the cops. I'm going to the cops.
And the mom's there and like, oh my God, what's going on? Says, your son is insane.
And he runs out the house and he's standing out there on his bike. And then all of a sudden, like a superhero smashing through the window. She breaks through the window and lands right on the Paperboy.
Right on him. Lunges.
And beats the hell out of him.
Mom comes running out.
Mom's horrified.
Like, oh my God.
And Paul is shocked. And they're both trying to stop her from doing that because they don't want her to kill another person.
And now the mom knows what's going on.
Yeah, Mom knows what's going on. Everything's out in the open now. And Beee Beeee Sam, Paul tries to stop her. She grabs him and tries to choke him. She's just going to do what she wants now.
Can no longer control the anger.
I will destroy humans.
Being in a human body has just made it impossible for her to control her anger. As a robot, she could control herself a little bit. But with those human emotions, there's just no way. Now she's just a nightmare. Pesadilla.
Las pesadillas.
She looks at Paul and realizes, I'm killing Paul. And for a moment, she has a realization and lets him go. And then she runs into the night. He goes chasing after her.
A la Frankenstein's monster.
He runs after her because he knows that deep down, he can make it work.
He can fix it.
He can't fix it. And she's running. The cops are aware of it now, too. Or the cops are trying to get her. He runs into an alley. And then we see this punk on a motorcycle.
Asshole.
We see these guys earlier. They bullied him before.
Yeah.
And Beee Beeee crunched his nuggets last time he tried to hurt him.
In Bee Bee's lovely claws. Like a vice.
Popped his cojones. And so now Bee Bee's gone, and this punk knows that Bee Bee's gone. And he comes out of the shadows and he attacks Paul. And you know who doesn't like this?
Beee Beeee. No. Sam Bee Beeee.
I think this is the first time we hear her actually speak.
Yeah, this is the very first time that we hear Bee Beeee speak through Sam.
And what does she sound like? So you hear her come out of the shadows.
It was so funny to see that voice come out of that actress's face.
I know, she's so sweet looking.
It's like, it's so funny.
First time we hear her,
oh my God,
she comes out of the shadows and she picks him up. Now she has her human claw hand, and Bee Beeee, and she picks him up in both hands and raises him up to the sky. She's got his throat clawed in one hand and she's got his nuts clawed in the other hand. And then the cops come by and they're like, "Drop him!" throws him at the cop car.
Oh my God, it was glorious. Glorious.
Oh my God, that was awesome.
Baby.
Oh, you just love her more and more. Now everyone's after her.
Yeah.
Paul's after her, the cop's after her, Paperboy, everybody's after her. And she runs back to the place she knows best. She runs back to the garage. She needed an oil change.
It took a lot of energy to do all of that. Of course, she
needed
oil.
to recharge her battery. She needed to plug in. Oh. And so she's there, and the cops are there, and Paul is there, and they have her trapped.
Nowhere to go.
They have their guns drawn, and it's tragic.
She doesn't have a weapon.
This is the interesting part, because you see what's happening through her eyes.
Yes. Amazing.
And you see the transition from her being controlled by Beee Beeee, and then Sam is awakening again in her.
Mm-hmm. In her consciousness.
When the screen is pixelated and red and all grainy.
That's all Beee Beeee.
And then sometimes she'll have these flashes of clarity where everything is like a nice clear screen. And then you know it's Sam.
Sam's view, Sam's vision. Right. And it's going back and forth between Sam and Beee Beeee. Sam and Beee Beeee. They can't be separated.
Paul is begging the cop. He's begging the cop.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot. You don't understand.
No! She doesn't understand!
That's my baby Sam.
He knows that she's coming back. It reminds me of the scene in West Side Story. Do you want to kill him, Chino?
No.
First you have to kill me.
No. Oh my God.
It's that kind of tragedy.
Oh my God.
So the cop draws his gun. First, she's Sam. It's like she's having a moment of clarity. You see her eyes through Sam, and then all of a sudden it's turned into Beee Beeee again.
Pissed off Beee Beeee.
They start charging like they go like a robot.
She's doing that robot dance.
She's doing the robot dance straight at the cop. And she keeps running closer and closer and closer to the cop. And then the cop has got his gun.
Yeah, he's ready.
It's time to blow. And Paul tries to jump between them, but it's too late.
Too late.
Bang!
Boom.
Stop! No!
Cop kills Sam.
Baby Sam.
They couldn't occupy the same body. It just could not. It could not be.
It could not. Could never work.
And Paul was in love with both of them. Paul would have gladly stayed with both of them. I think he would have preferred if it was her brain in the robot's body, though.
Paul, I think Paul may have wanted Bee Bee's brain. Sam's claws.
He wanted the Paperboy's brain, Bee Bee's body.
Oh wow, we could just switch it up, like those little dolls. How you change?
Oh, did they have they should have made dolls out of this. I would have loved an action figure set. This would have made amazing action figure set.
Half Bee Beeee, half Paperboy.
The half Sam Bee Beeee jumping out the window. Like he's got permanent claw hands.
Hey,
what a sad ending. How many more have to die, Chino? First you have to kill me. Oh, Wes Craven, you are a mad genius.
Oh my God. And the very end, is it a dream? Is it reality?
Something really weird happens at the end. Explain the end to me, because I'm still baffled.
The end is really weird. The coroner, they don't do an autopsy, but they, which is weird. Anyway, they place Baby Sam's body in the cooler, and Paul is going to take the body out of the cooler. And so he opens it, after the coroner's left, and he sees her body, and she awakens and reaches up to Paul, grabs him, and he sees her face starting to morph and peel and rip apart. And her arms, the flesh is starting to peel off of her arms, and below it, underneath it, you can see bones like a skeleton, but it's all metal. And more of her face gets torn off, and you see it's some weird combination of Beebe, an angry Beebe face, but more human-like because it's round and shaped like a human with kind of angry teeth looking up at Paul. And like,
it isn't clear whether this is him dreaming because he never wakes up.
And there's always these dreams in this movie.
So did he dream? Or was this all a dream? Or did he just not wake up? Or did this really happen? So you're left with a lot of questions.
Like, how was this movie made?
You just don't care.
We don't care. We don't care because it was a fun ride.
I just love Sam Beebe. If I could just have an action figure with Sam Beebe holding a bad guy up by the crotch and the neck, and all you do, you press a button and you just hear it go, Beebe.
Oh
and then it ends. The movie ends with the best song ever.
The best song ever. We're gonna have to put that.
You will hear it. You will hear it
because I am going to download it and I need a soundtrack.
I know.
It's beautiful.
I'm gonna play it at night so I could go to sleep. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna meditate to it from now on.
Oh my God. You know who did the voice of Beebe? Charles Fleischer.
Oh, no way. Roger Rabbit, he did so many things.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
He was in the Welcome Back, Kotter.
He was over at Monsterpalooza.
I know.
Brilliance by Wes Craven. I love all of his movies. He let female actors have these really juicy, fun, powerful roles in a lot of his movies. I love that. I love Wes Craven. Most likely, if you're a fan of Wes Craven, you've seen this movie.
I don't know because it's considered like such a horrible film.
No, gosh, it's too good.
Because
it's too fun.
It's so, you can tell it's choppy. A lot of it was chopped up. The way he had written it was very different from how it turned out. And I think they deleted a lot of what was in there originally. A lot of the character development.
It was a little choppy.
And they also added to it. So I think the story was going to be really different. But you can tell because when you're watching it at first, it was like, wait, is this a TV, made for TV movie?
Is it the best movie ever made? No. Is it the best horror movie ever made? No.
It's
but
awesome.
It is a hell of a lot of fun.
It is so good.
If you like Wes Craven, it's definitely worth a watch.
Well, it's become like a cult classic. So even though it was one that it wasn't exactly what his intention was, it turned out to be a lot of fun and a cult classic. I thought it was great. I loved it. I don't care if it's choppy. It's a good ride. It's fun. This movie is a true B movie.
It is. It is.
It really is. And I am here for it.
All here. Over and over again.
And actually, you know what? I think our wives could watch it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Susie will appreciate the basketball head exploding scene. Everything
Julie might like that. She'll like that. She'll think it's funny.
It's a must watch.
It is a must see.
5 stars.
5 stars. Must see movie. Indeed. I liked it.
I liked it too.
Piece it together. We'll watch it.
Bravo. I know we'll watch anything. There isn't anything we won't watch.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We love you. Please tell your friends all about another B movie.
Bitty movie.
You can find us on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Another B Movie Podcast. So look for us. You can also email us at anotherbmoviepodcast@gmail.com. So subscribe, review, and like. Give us 5 stars.
Baby!
And remember, las
pesadillas son gratis. Beep, 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 beep.
Perfect.